Hello there, and welcome to Akweya TV, the station that gives you history, art, culture as they relate to development. There's a huge part of our life that is shaped by our history and our culture. And we believe that throwing light on this aspect of our life is also going to inform the future of our country. How do we fit into the future? And today, we've got interesting people in the studio, gentlemen who have done a lot for the country, and they continue to do a lot in their writings. And I'm going to discuss something. Why do military men write? And before the show, one of the generals that is here, is a general in writing, general in the military, said that the army, the military, is one whole poetry. And that's going to be a part of the conversation we're having. I have with me, let me talk about the junior. In the military, there, this seniority thing is very important. So before I introduce the big man, let me introduce Colonel Ndulue, who is a writer. Since he left the military, he has written a number of books, and he has retired, but he's not tired, like they say. Colonel, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you, it's my pleasure.
Yes. And we also have a general in the army, and they say once a general, always a general, even if you're retired. General Mathias Efeovbokhan is with us in the studio. You're most welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
Yeah. The first thing I want to say is to actually ask why the writers from the military. I thought most writers from the military, it's either memoirs, or when they leave memoirs, they come into writing poetry. And I'm curious that the works you have are not poetry. So maybe I'll start with you, General. Why does this happen?
Well, I think it's a question of personal interest,
okay,
and also the impact of military training on your person, physically, morally, and psychologically. A lot of us who go into the military, you look at the military from outside as if it's a normal job. But when you get in, you get a cultural shock. And that cultural shock comes in different dimensions. They are not things you are used to. One of which you woke up on time, and the first thing you do in the morning, 15, 20 kilometers of a jog.
Wow.
Then you come back, have your bath, take your breakfast. Of course, with that kind of jogging, you are sure you are sentenced to sleep for the next 1 or 2 hours. And if you are sleeping, you are made to stand up. So you find people standing and sleeping.
Yeah, so Colonel.
Okay, back to your question.
Yes.
You see, it is true that most military officers were writing on poetry and memoirs.
Yeah.
But why I personally had to deviate from that was that I felt that our experience in NDA
Yes.
shouldn't just be swept under the carpet.
Yeah.
It is so unique. For instance, the bond between classmates are stronger than the bond between classmates in the secondary school.
Oh, okay.
Because you pass through very terrible conditions together. So, long after you have left Nigerian Defense Academy, you still gel together. Now, that is what gave room for me to put our experience in the book.
Yeah.
So that type of book cannot be just poetry. So although it's written with fictitious names, but the events are the real event, are real.
Yeah.
So that I can avoid litigation.
Which then comes to the point. What kind of challenges do you have, when you're writing such things? Especially, you have two levels of it. You have the personal, the interpersonal, privacy. You have the issue of national security, which is paramount in the military.
Okay.
What kind of tensions did you feel while writing
Okay,
Rumbles in the Old
I
Academy?
was mindful of the fact that there were certain aspects of the military you are not supposed to divulge to
Yeah,
the general public.
yeah,
So what you see here are just events that are not strictly, that is where those restricted aspects of the military
yes.
are not reflected here. That is why you see that the book is not having restricted on top, restricted under, as most of our books reflect. So I was mindful of that. And I was also mindful of the effect it was going to have on me, because definitely if you are reflecting the truth, some people will be hurt.
Yes.
And if those people are hurt, they can take you to court.
And if you are not reflecting the truth, the book will be boring.
Yes. So, like this book, anybody that has ever been passed through any form of training will love it.
Wow.
Because it brings out salient points about, in fact, it tells you how to go about training.
About training?
Yes. That if you are passing through training,
yes.
The best approach to succeed.
But you won't read it before you go for training. How do you do this matter?
No, you see, but again, this book could discourage people from going to NDA. Because life in NDA at our own time was very terrible.
Okay.
So many cadets dropped out because they couldn't cope with academics.
Because they couldn't cope with academics?
Yes.
Not because they were dull? Or?
Not because they were dull, but they were not given the opportunity to read.
Okay. What happened?
You sleepless nights doing what we call putti. Putti is an Indian word.
Okay.
I don't want to call it punishment.
Okay.
Because we don't regard it as punishment. We regard it as part of the training.
Oh, okay.
So that is the thing. If you go by what is written here, nobody will go to NDA. But it also gives you the guidelines to succeed in NDA if you go as a cadet.
Okay.
So that is the thing about this book.
Okay, General. Something caught my attention while Colonel Ndulue was speaking.
Okay.
The book is titled Rumbles in the Old Academy, and there's that sense in which it's like the new academy. I mean, the general sense everyone has is that standards are dropping. Is the new academy, the new training, military training, rigorous enough to produce this kind of humor and this kind of writing anymore?
Well, yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, at the old academy, they were just reading for A-levels.
Okay.
The Nigerian Defense Academy Certificate of Education.
Okay.
It was equivalent to A-levels, and it qualified you to get into the university.
Ooh.
But by the time we got into the new side, they had started the degree program. So there was now a challenge.
Okay.
How do you balance academics with military training? Here's a man you are preparing to write exams for a degree. You keep him awake for sleepless nights. And sometimes for a degree program, it's not something you can just read overnight.
Okay.
It's cumulative knowledge built over time, based on a series of lectures, practicals, and your own self-application. There's no shortcut. So that's where they are having problems. Those who trained in the old school like us, we still believe in this tough attitude. Keep the man awake, torture him, make him crawl 1 kilometer.
Squeeze the civilian.
Exactly. Yes, actually,
because
I have a small
1993.
book on that, my first book, The Military Profession.
Yeah.
What military training does to you, first, it dehumanizes you.
Yeah.
It reduces you to nothing.
Yeah.
It makes you feel inferior to everything around you. Then gradually, it starts building your confidence.
Okay.
By the time you are passing out of the academy, it builds your confidence that when you are giving, there's nothing that is impossible
Okay.
as far as that second lieutenant is concerned. You asked about poetry, about that, but there have been very, very famous military authors.
Yeah.
If you read a lot of management literature,
Yeah.
they were all originated by military authors.
Okay.
Even in the areas of science, in the areas of creativity
Very true.
and innovation. If you look at the GSM, for example, it's a military innovation. And if you look at the management sciences, areas like strategic decision making,
Yeah.
they were all written by military authors. If you also look at areas like strategy generally,
Yeah.
if you go to the US Army War College and the Royal Defense College of Defense Studies, ROCDS, they are the prime mover when it comes to strategy because they study strategy,
Yes.
which is about ends, ways, and means, and how you achieve some ends with what you have and all that. And it has trickled down to other areas. So military writing is not just about poetry alone.
Yeah.
But poetry is a substantial part of your personal experience.
Yeah.
It's like one poetry book that keeps opening endlessly at every level.
Yeah.
What I've done, my first book was the military profession.
Yeah.
In the military profession, we try to differentiate who is the professional. Is the military a profession?
Okay.
Huntington
good
says
question.
it clearly that the military is a profession
Okay.
because the trained military man undergoes a series of theoretical exposure about the art of management of violence. And he undergoes a period of study. And during that period of study, he's exposed to different types of military engagement. After that, at various levels in his career, he undergoes certain exams. In that sense, the military is a profession because there are theoretical and practical aspects of it. And there have been a lot of write-ups by a lot of people about the military profession. And there have been theories that have been propounded. The two prominent among which are Sun Tzu and Clausewitz. You look at Sun Tzu, he wrote a small book, a 100-page book. They call it The Art of War. And in The Art of War, he propounded so many things. In fact, it is that book that guides the Chinese way of life.
It caught my attention.
Okay,
Because you remember how
so.
when I saw it. And I'm curious, Colonel Ndulue, why you chose the wives and spouses instead of the officers themselves. Are you saying the officers already have enough training on this, and it's their spouses that need it?
No, the book is actually for military. The title is Etiquette for Military Officers.
Okay, and our first
Fair
spouse.
ladies,
Okay,
first
sorry, yeah.
spouses.
Okay.
So it is meant to tell the wives
Okay.
their role, the role they will play in ensuring that their husbands get to the top,
Oh, okay.
so that they will not find themselves at odds with things in the barracks.
Okay.
So that is why it is important for the wives to read it, so that they know their roles
Okay.
in the barracks.
Yeah. And well, with the works you've done, we have always had this conversation about writers writing this stuff and not getting the kind of visibility and support that they need to market the books, and get the books to reach the audience. What do you think should be done, especially by the military institution, to support harvesting the thoughts of officers and men, and also possibly putting this out in the right places? Do you have enough of it happening in the military?
Well, first of all, the fact is that most military officers do not write. Only very few of us write. That is why we stand out among the rest. So, in terms of projecting the work, you can only do it through official means, maybe through the service chiefs, the chief of defense staff. He can either decide that he wants to buy it and send it to the units, or they organize something like launching, no, not launching, yes, something like launching the book, where the book is distributed to units for sale. And we used to have something when we were young officers. The command officer will force the young officers to read.
Okay.
He will impress upon them that they must read and come and during mess meetings, they come out to answer questions on the book.
Okay.
So that used to be the practice.
Oh.
So, but you see, very few of us know about how to advertise our books. We only know about writing, but how to advertise books, we don't know. That's why you come to my house, you see piles of the books there.
I like the title, The Mystery Girl.
The Mystery Girl.
When I saw it, I wanted to ask you why that title.
Well, it
was it really a mystery girl?
Well, it was just a title to attract patronage. It was based on a personal experience when I was very young. And we used to fetch water in a public tap. And my late uncle warned me, you must never lay your hands on any woman in your life, no matter what offense the woman has committed against you. But each time I went to the tap, this girl would fetch mud and put it inside my pocket. I would throw it away and fetch it. This continued for a very long time, and the anger kept building. I think the crescendo was when my late uncle bought some breakable plates, and he said I should go and wash them in the public tap. This girl came and broke all of them. I was so angry. So I struck her and she fainted.
Hey.
She had to be taken to the hospital. It took about 3-4 hours to resuscitate her and all that. Of course, the police came and got me. And also detained me. If she doesn't get up, we'll also kill you. Well, that's actually the events that led to the mystery girl and the platform. That's what killed
we are writers, and I'd love to hear readings, from the works. I know you didn't have copies, but you might even have some.
Well, I have a soft copy.
So maybe I'll take from Colonel Ndulue first, who might read from Shadows of Gunpowder, or which one are you?
They had a gathering where somebody dipped his hand and took meat before his senior. This is what the senior had to say. Uduakomiri, you have made it a habit to usurp the position of your seniors by your rebellious posture, a poise that devalues your personality in the large scheme of things, and principally untenable in this gathering. How is it that you consciously dipped your finger into the tray to take meat before me? Is it contempt or familiarity that prompts your action? Is it your size or the amount of gray hair on your head that is deceiving you? When feces is unattended to, it will continue to smell. Try to accommodate respect and veneration in the way you relate with your seniors. So this tells you how the value our native Africa places on seniority.
I will just read briefly the poem that talks about the army officer's wife. And it goes like this. The army officer's wife, fragile like every other woman, hopeful like every other housewife. The army officer's wife is different from every other woman. She's made of gold, has a heart of lion, but loving, very loving. Unlike many women, what makes the difference? Oh, I hear you ask. And I answer, I suffer from long absences from my loved one. I carry the fetus alone. I must learn how to manage the lame budgets. I must learn to play the role of father, mother, all, and confident, and above all, confident to our flowers. I must learn to move frequently from one station to another. Yeah, it is a tough job. Yeah, it is a really tough job. But lo, there are times of joy. The days of promotion and decoration. The day of marriage, when swords are crossed. Yea, and the joy is multiplied when husband and father, daddy becomes a general. What can sound better than being a general's wife or son or daughter? What sweet joy. But how long, how tedious, how rough the road. For a general's wife or son or daughter, how long, rough, and sprung with minds on the road. Only a few tough and brave ones can make it.
One question just to both of you before we go. I said, why do they always say the soldier's wife is one rank ahead of the soldier himself? That's really one thing I want to know before we go.
Okay, maybe.
All right. We respect our wives so much, and we believe that whatever we achieve whatever you achieve in the military, your wife must have been responsible to some extent. It is the support she gave that will. In fact, that is one of the reasons of the book, Etiquette for Our Wives. If a wife goes to report you to your commander that you are not bringing money for food, that will be reflected in your confidential report, and it will affect.
If you are lucky like I was, and you marry a God-given wife, you can't help but give her true respect. That is why even when you are decorated, after saluting your commander who decorates you, the next person you face, you salute your wife. It's a commendation. It's a recognition. And it's an admission that probably without her, you wouldn't get there.
Thank you very much, General
Mathias
Efeovbokhan, for this exciting session. Colonel Victor Ndulue, thank you so much. We really pray people are going to go out there and buy these amazing books. And for you watching, we look forward to seeing you on some more of our programs on Akweya TV. Please do subscribe to our channel. Do also, everywhere we are at Akweya TV on social media, and then our website, akweyatv.com, is also available. So write to us. Our information is scrolling on the screen, and you will surely get a response from us. We do enjoy your patronage, and we appreciate everything you do for us. Do enjoy your time and share with your friends and family. Thank you.
My academic journey in Mount St. Gabriel Secondary School started in the year 2017. When I was admitted into the school as a JS1 student, I also represented the school in competitions right from JS1. I remember going to Abuja to represent the state as well as the school in the 2019 or 2018 National Jet Science Competition, where I came first in mathematics, first in basic science, first in basic technology, and first in computer science, where I brought home 5 trophies for the state. And the next year also in JS2, I presented the state in the same competition, and I defended all my trophies. Also, this made the way forward for me to participate in my junior WAEC, that is BK. And in BK, I came out with 9 A1s in all my subjects. that I participated in, and I moved to the senior class. In the senior class, I think in the year 2021, I presented Benue State in National Cross Learning Science Contest. It's a TV contest that is having the same format as Kawikidia, and I did well also. I presented my school in several commissions, to mention a few: Interswitch Sparks, National Science Competition, NMPC Commission, Interswitch um, 774 Science Competition, among others. And recently, I participated in my external exams in my school. In my JAM, I had a total score of 342, which I had 92 in mathematics, 92 in physics, 89 in chemistry, and 69 in English. And I also wrote WAEC this year, and I came out with 9 distinctions. First, I appreciate God for everything I has done, for putting me at the top. I know I'm not worthy, but He has seen me through all these years. I also want to thank my parents for the sacrifice they have been making. They have been so caring and loving, and they always provide everything that I need for my academic journey and also to live as a child. I appreciate them very much. I appreciate my teachers in school for being able to inculcate their knowledge into me, to enable me to do well in my academics. I also thank my classmates who have provided a healthy environment for me to be able to develop academically. I'm eternally grateful to them. I I'm very excited to be at the top in JAM in the States, and also I give thanks to God. My motivation in school, while I was in school, was the support that my parents gave me, support that I received from my friends, and all that. This was the things that kept me going throughout my stay in school. Moving forward, I feel that the government should at least provide a scholarship for me to be able to study abroad, so that I can come back and impact into the lives of people in my country, because I've presented the state in over 15 trophies in many competitions, and I brought back over 15 trophies for the state, but unfortunately the state has not done much to appreciate me. So going forward, I expect that the state should provide a scholarship for me and my other classmates who have done well in WAEC and JAM this year, so that we can present the state well outside.